Hey Mum, hey Dad, and anyone who else is watching.
Welcome to our first video for climbing. Our climbing YouTube, I guess you could call it. We don't really have a name for it, the Two Average Climbers. It's Friday today, which means that we are on our way to the gym. There is a new reset on the wall.
A double reset, so that would mean two sections of the gym the climbs have been changed on that. So that's very exciting for us because it's usually only once. It only happens one section per week.
Yeah, they're doing a double because last week they missed out because there was a Halloween comp, which was fun. Not mad at that, but yeah, so double reset tonight.
So we're going to go check it out, and we're going to take videos of us trying out the climbs so you guys can see what we get up to. And yeah, so it should be a bit of fun.
Should be fun. I just want to add in quickly as well.
Yeah.
It's slab, which slab is my favorite kind of climbing. Essentially, it just means it's like a flat wall and lots of like balancing moves and lots of yeah, kind of like, what would you call it? Like using your center of gravity and balancing, and it's more of like a mental puzzle than kind of like a big, strong, burly, power your way through it kind of climb. So I'm excited.
Yeah, that's the climb I'm worst at, so it'll be interesting. So it should be a bit of fun, and we will just take some videos and then we'll edit this all together so you can see
us having a good time.
What happens on a Friday night at Pulse Climbing.
Yeah.
So we'll see you in there.
See you in there.
Danny just doing a warm up. This is the little gym warming up area.
I thought I saw you come up and then I looked behind me and no one was there. Snuck up.
Yes, snuck up. And so this has a view over the climbing area, which is pretty cool. So that's our new reset down there. So we have these little boards which you can use for warming up or hangboarding. It's for kind of doing pinching on, even though it's not focusing.
I had to pause my skipping.
Why?
Because my calves are about to die on me.
But you're only just warming up.
Yeah, I'm trying this new thing. Wait,
what is it?
I'm trying this new thing where I burn a little bit of energy before I start climbing because sometimes I go a little bit too keen too soon.
Fair enough. It's understandable because when you're warming up you have to look at this the whole time with all our mates doing there.
So hello guys, I'm just going to be following along with this video and giving you a bit of voiceover feedback, explaining some of the climbs we're doing. So first up is this Blue 5 that Danny's going to be trying. So this is a slab climb, meaning it's not overhung, it's more balancy and technical. You can't really power your way through these climbs. So you can see here she's setting up for a very balancy move in the middle here. And she's just going to go for it now. There we go. And then you've got to find that balance point in the middle. And she's going to switch her feet, which is quite hard on that hold because it's rounded. But she's done it, she's managed it. She's going for that hold out to the left, and she's going to pull on that and the box. There we go, to stop herself from swinging out. So it's a bit of push-pull kind of motion to stop you swinging out. And then the rest of the climb is quite straightforward. Just kind of climb up and match the finish hold. So next up we have this black 3. It's quite simple. You just had to make sure you get your hands in the right order so that you end up with the right sequence. and then you cross over at the top, and there you go, then you're finished. So next up is this pink 4, that's a warm up for Danny. They're not too strenuous, they're more to give you a bit of a practice run and dial in your technique and your footwork to make the climb as efficient as possible without muscling your way through it. So there we go, she's got it. So next we have this red 5 that Danny's warming up on. So another slab climb, quite balancing and technical. So you can see she's matching her feet on the holds to allow her to move the other foot forward, and just thinking about where her hands are going and in what order or sequence, so that's the most efficient. And then this last move is probably the most committed, where you have to kind of just lunge up for that and finish. Now we have another warm up for me. So this was just a 4, and it was pretty easy for me. I think it was set by someone who was shorter, so you'll probably see me just at the top here. You're actually meant to get a foot up higher, but I can just reach it, so it's a bit of cheating going on there, but it's a warm up. So next we have this yellow 4, pretty straightforward again, but the holds are getting smaller, so the difficulty is starting to increase a bit. You've got to think more about your body positioning, which I don't do too much here, and it becomes a little bit scrappy for me.
So this climb is a slabby purple 5 that I actually designed in my dream, which is really, really interesting, and I passed it along to the setters and they created it for me. So as you can see in the first kind of clip, I slipped off the starting hold. It's super slabby and balancy, and in this one I'm kind of getting that balance and that thumb press, walking across to the volume there, all while kind of pulling on the hands, and then really just focusing on pressing down into that toe, catching the cramp, and just kind of going for the finish in a nice controlled manner rather than trying to power through it.
So now I'm moving on to this purple 5. So now we're on an overhung wall, so it's getting a bit more powerful, but this is quite technical as well. You really have to have a sequence for it to work well for you. Otherwise you just be kind of muscling through it. So there we go, you can see I'm opening my hips on the wall to keep me against it, and then a little pop into that one there. So getting a bit more powerful, but also very technical. You can see I'm thinking about where I'm going to put my feet to help me balance. I put it against the wall there. Now I'm coming up and deciding what to do with my feet, and I'm going to go to cross over that hand into the next hold. And so I'm just deciding how I'm going to do that. But oh no, there I slipped there, but I managed to hang on to it, so that's good. And then go for the finish. So now we're moving on to a green 5. So this is another slab climb, meaning more balancy, not overhung, not powerful. You have to be really deliberate with where you're placing your feet and how you're keeping yourself flat on the wall. So it's pretty straightforward there. You can see there, maybe that wasn't the best finish, but I got it. So now I'm moving on to the red 5, which Danny was on earlier, and you can see I'm very cramped in that starting space due to my size compared to Danny. And so there we go, finally got through. A bit of a limbo there. So now I'm coming through. So this climb, as the slab climbs get harder, you can see my technique deteriorate quite a bit, and I'm starting to rely on my power a lot more, which is not good. So it's good to actually have these videos to see that. You can see I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to go. Got my hips aren't close to the wall, which they should be. They are there, but a lot of the time they're actually sagging out, which is not ideal. And you can see at the end here, I just go, just muscle to the finish, and there we go. So now we're moving on to the 6s. So this is a red 6, very technical and quite strenuous really. So it's straight up along the corner of this wall, using lots of pinches on small holds. So you can see Danny really struggling with it there, as you can see by her face. And see the holds are very quite small. This is our second attempt. Didn't fare too much better here, so we moved on to some other climbs. So now this is a orange 6, and you can see it's on a more overhung wall, so a little bit more powerful again. But you can see I'm readjusting my hand a lot because the holds are shaped a lot like a rock outdoors, but they're plastic and slippery. So you can see I'm trying to get a good grip on them I'm trying to adjust my body position there, but that one was really bad, so I'm really adjusting. And here I've used very poor technique, trying to get myself, and there we go, finally got there. So that worked for me, I guess. So next is this black 6, which starts on this very slopey pinch, which is not Danny's forte. So Danny missed the start of mine, but yeah, so that's kind of my specialty, so I didn't have a problem with that. And then it goes up to these small little handholds, and then you kind of got to come up, and you're in a bit of a cramped spot here to finish. You've got to press up into the last hold. The top of it has no edge to it. So there we go, a little bit of an awkward finish, but I got the high foot and got it. So next we have this red 6, which is a dyno, which is short for dynamic movement. And you can see, there we go, I throw myself up and along that box, which is quite angled. So you have to be quite committed and throwing your weight and your center of gravity forward over it to get to that hold. Otherwise you can slip, but you can see here, now to finish the climb, I've really got to turn my hips in and my knee out to finish it. So next is this green 6. So you can see I cross my leg through, post the other one on the wall for balance, and now I'm deciding my next move. And so I'm going to go, cross over, under, and now my footwork is surprisingly good here. And then I come across, and this next move is like almost like a counterweight as I decide to come over, and then stand up into that really slopey hold to finish.
Here we are moving into the 7s, and me and my friend Sarah were trying this climb together because we climb around the same level. We were both finding similar moves quite difficult because the holds are quite big and you have to kind of pinch them with your whole hand. And then there's a really big right foot. Sarah ended up getting it, but then, couldn't quite decide the next move. So we decided to move on to our next climb.
So now Danny's here trying this green 7, and you can see the holes are like little dinner plates almost. They're quite thin, and it's very difficult. And here's me trying it now. Yep, so I've come up for the first one, but I've given another try. Quite extended. A lot of finger strength needed for this one. So I've come up there, but the next move is very hard, lots of tension, so I've come off. And Danny is making more progress than me until then. So here we are at the end of the session. I'm on this green 7, which is horrible hand holds, and a super committed move to finish off this 1/2 inch hold. But you can see it just becomes just too hard to hold on to and I have to drop. So here I thought I'd just give you a quick little look at the moonboard, which we were showing you a video of Danny climbing on the other day. As you can see, it's very overhung, 40 degrees, and the holds are very small. As you can see here, the yellow ones are the smallest and just pretty much insane to think about hanging on to, but some people do, not us. We mainly use the red ones so far, but maybe one day we'll be strong enough. And so yeah, that's that.
That concludes our session that night. It was over by about 9 o'clock. You can see the gym is nice and empty. We hope you guys enjoyed watching us climb, and we can't wait to do some more videos for you guys showing you what we get up to. See you then.